Hey y'all, happy Tuesday. Happy Spoken Word Tuesday. I hope you guys Tuesday's coming along fine. Alright. Hey you guys, I'm back. You guys know I was on vacation. I'm back now, and I want to say thank you guys for keeping me motivated. I'm here, today to finish the Proverbs video. You guys know before I went on vacation, I done a Spoken Word Tuesday video the previous Tuesday. Okay, and that could have been what? Maybe like June 27th, somewhere around that time. But I done, I do my spoken word videos on Tuesday, right? So they had to be a Tuesday. I believe that was June 27th. And I read verses 1 through 14, and I said I would finish 14 through 28. Okay, and I am here to finish 14 through 28. However, it ends at 24, so I will finish 14 through 24, right? I'll be reading from the King James Version, Proverbs. Chapter 18, verses 14 through 24, okay? Also, I done my short earlier, and it was regards to, being sexual with those who are close to kin, right? And what I mean by that is, anyone close to kin, like, adopted sister or brother, adopted whomever, mother, grandma, mother-in-law, sister-in-law, whomever, those who are close to you as kin, like your neighbors real close, you guys can grow together, the wife, the husband, you know the sister, brother, the uncle, auntie, you already know who their better halves are, right? So, and if there's someone who you've been knowing all these years, maybe your neighbor live next door, you guys close, it's like close to kin, it's like family to you guys, as well as those who you adopt, they're like family to you, right? It does not have to be blood for someone to be close to kin. The close to kin to be someone who you grew up with, right? Your neighbor you've been known 20, 40, 20, 30 years, right? A sister or brother that has been adopted to your family, a mother-in-law or brother-in-law or uncle-in-law or sister-in-law who's been adopted to the family through marriage, right? Those will be people who are close to kin. And those people are off limits sexually, to you all, right? I've seen time after time. I've seen people, the kids be adopted, by their mom, and then when they get older, they go start dating their sister. That, even though it's not blood, that's still your sister because your mom or dad raised them, or your mom and dad raised them, right? So that's an abomination to the Father's eyes. You're not supposed to be sleeping around with your adopted sister, adopted brothers, or your mother-in-law, your sister-in-law, not even your father's daughter, right? Who you don't have the same mom, or who you don't share the same mom with. That's still your kin, right? Your father's daughter, who you don't share the same mom with, is still your kin. And that's, in fact, your blood, right? So that's way too close to kin, okay? So under no circumstances should we be sleeping with our mother-in-law, our dad-in-law, our uncle-in-law, our sister-in-law, our niece-in-law, our nephew-in-law, our neighbor's wife or husband whom we've known 22, 30 years, who live next door to us is like a close to kin, our father's daughter who don't share the same mom as us but the same father, anybody who's close to you, right? Close to kin, right? Not the ones who will, your immediate family, your mom, sister, brother, who are kin, but we're talking about people who are close to kin, and those who are blood, like the father's daughter, okay? Remember, you guys, if you're doing this, cease yourself. Go repent from that, okay? It is an abomination to the Father, okay? Don't do it. I don't care how, sexually desirable you are of that person. It is an abomination to the Father, and you will pay for it. You will reap what you sow. So I advise you, to repent and stop doing it. I see it, so when I see it, I will come talk about it, okay? Stop it. Cease it. It's a violation, to the person who you're sleeping with, and it's an abomination to the Father. Cease that activity. All right, you guys. So I'm going to read, like I said, Proverbs chapter 22. I'm going to start with, or continue with 14 and end with 24. I thought the chapter had 28 verses, but it has 24, so I did 14 last time, in which I supposed to do 12. I tried to do half, but because I miscounted of 28 chapters, I done 14, thinking it's 28, which is half. All right, you guys. So I'm gonna start with 14, what I ended with last week, and end with 24. Okay. So you guys, we in Proverbs chapter 18. beginning with verse 14. All right. The spirit of man will sustain his infirmity, but a wounded spirit who can bear. Verse 15. The heart of the prudent getting knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeketh knowledge. Verse 16. A man's gift maketh room for him, and bringeth him before great men. Verse 17. He that is first in his own cause seemeth just, but his neighbor cometh and searcheth him. Verse 18. Delight causeth contention to cease, and parted between the mighty. Verse 19. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city, and their contentions are like the bars of a castle. Verse 20. A man's belly should be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. Verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Verse 22. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord. Verse 23. The poor uses entreaties, but the rich asketh roughly. And the final verse 24. A man that had friends must shew himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. All right, you guys. I'm going to analyze. So let me turn this light on in the dark. And it seems like, that light got dark. I'm like I'm missing the light anyway. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and break down these verses, right? All right. All right, so 14. The spirit of man will sustain his infirmity, but a wounded spirit who can bear. So it's in the spirit matters, right? The spirit's determine, your heart and everything, right? The spirit will sustain the infirmities, of the health and everything, or what type of, tribulations you're going through. It's the spirit, remember, because it's what you overlook, right? It's what you allow your heart to overcome. It's your spirit, that allows you to humble yourself, okay? On the other hand, it says, but a wounded spirit who can bear. So you'll saw somebody with that harsh spirit, or, that spirit that they done went through so much, they just have a spirit of anger, who can bear that spirit. That person has a spirit where they just always angry or snappy, so negative, the energy around you, you can cut it with tension, or, they make you scared of them. You can't be around them because you don't know what they're going to do. That spirit, that spirit who can bear, okay? All right, verse 15. The heart of the prudent getting knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeketh knowledge, okay? So the heart of a prudent getteth knowledge, right? So we know the heart of a person, we like to accept knowledge, right? Because it helps us work our heart in the right manner, right? Or our mind, our body, our spirit, and our soul, okay? It's like being cautious, obtaining a lot of knowledge so you can know how to walk, through this earth, so you can know how, to overcome your trials and tribulations, right? And it says, and the ear of the wise seeking knowledge. So these right here, like me, I like to learn, don't just tell me nothing. If it's there and I know I'm going to take the time and I am going to learn it, right, so I can master it, that's just me. I like to be independent, Of course, I will accept help, don't get me wrong, but they say the way to get it done the best is to do it yourself, right? So I'm that kind of person. You don't have to do it for me. I do it myself, because I know if I do it myself, I'm going to do it right? So I know that if I need to understand, I need to open my ear to hear and listen, right? So I'm willing to open my ear to receive knowledge, because I know knowledge is power, and my people perish due to lack of knowledge. All right? Verse 16. A man's gift maketh room for him, and bringeth him before great men. Yes, so a man's gift, depending on your gifts. I mean, trust and believe me, this is general. This prime example. A man's gift make room for him at your job. Now, if you're a great asset, right, and you can go in there and make $1 out of 15 cents and exceed your boss's expectations, trust and believe me, they're going to put you before people, right? Because they know you can make it do what it do. You can make them rich. Or, you can go out there and make something happen. You got the knowledge and everything, the power and the understanding, to make things happen, and like to execute things and to open up laws and make it go through, to make it great for the people, for the mass of the people. The kids gonna open up for you, because those are the gifts that the Father allowed you, right? You know, and those can be blessings or either curses, right? But the Father said, we follow the laws, commandments, He will give us blessings. So these gifts that they're considering are in fact the blessings of the Father in Deuteronomy 28. Okay? So again, verse 16, a man's gifts maketh room for him and bringing him before great men. So if a man has gifts of dignity, right? You know, gifts that allows him to practice dignity, gifts to help the needy, gifts to help a person, you know, willing to help and give, right? Then, yes, doors will be open to him and we can present it and before great kings. And they will honor him and push him forward because they know that this person is a person that desires dignity, you know, who practices morality, you know, and humanity, okay? Therefore, you know, he's worthy to be presented amongst great kings. Verse 17, he that is first to his own cause seemeth just, but his neighbor cometh and searching him. I'm going to say that again. I'm sorry, read that again. He that is first in his own cause seemeth just, but his neighbor cometh and searching him. So this is about the people that come in and, you know, try to make you believe everything about them, you know, come and sell themselves for you. Come in, hey, you know, that's next to like, we're trying to tell you all this, and you sitting there listening to everything, and he's selling you everything, right? He can sell ice to an Eskimo, right? You know, so you got those people who are vulnerable. You know, he's able to come get over them, or she's able to come get over on them, right? But you got that neighbor. You know, you got that neighbor that sit back and observe, come search and clean out, that discernment, come see right through them, okay? So that's that verse is coming out. You got those who sit back, who dingbacks, don't know no better, you know, perish because of lack of understanding, and easy to be manipulated and vulnerable, and easy to be, and it's vulnerable, and easy to be deceived. But on the other hand, you got that neighbor who knows the Father's word, who understands that path, and who's able to see right through them, okay, and run circles around their head, okay? Verse 18, the lot caused it contentions to cease and parted between the mighty. So you got those who come in and know how to cause contention to cease, know the right things to say, what words to use, right, to cause that. Because remember, you know, it basically the study of human beings was that psychology, which is a man's term. Okay, but life experience is also learning and understanding the person. You know, their pattern and their behavior, you know, discernment of their person, right? You know, so some people know how to come in and cause contentions to cease because they know what words to say. They can read that person's behavior and they can tell them exactly what they want them to hear. Okay, what they want to hear. Okay, so they know how to cease that contention, right? And they know how, you know, to party between the mighty, you know, and whomever. They know how to cease that contention between powers and authority because they already been given that task and that gift to go in there and cease contentions between thee and they, okay? Between the mighty and the mighty, okay? All right, verse 19. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city, and their contentions are like the bars of a castle. So when a person is offended, you know, people come in and they, you know, they say things and don't even consider what's coming out their mouth, right? Remember, the Father said, before you go throw something at me, cast that beam out your own eye. So you got these people come in and try to just throw all these rocks and stones on you, but don't take the time to consider that, hey, what about you? You know what I mean? You know, you come to offend me, you know, but what about your offensive ways? You don't realize you're offending me because you're not taking the time to learn who you are, right? So now you've offended that person. You can make that person so angry, you know, he got a whole grudge against you, you know, and it's harder, you know, to win that offensive vote because of what you did, right? You know, it's harder to win that person over because his stubbornness, his anger is like, it's built like a strong city, right? You know, and he's like, he got bars around him like a castle, right? So we have to be careful of what we say to people, right? You never know how a person is perceiving people, right? But I'm gonna tell y'all, back in the days, people was not so easy to be, you know, crying and so weak. People weren't so emotional all the time. Now we got men and women crying over little stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, it is unnecessary, and it is a lack of a man masculinity, right? You know, we got these men now, somebody say to them that, why you say that? Just crying like a woman, you know? That is, it's crazy, you know? So, you know, we have to be careful what we say to people these days, right? Because people are not strong like they used to be. People are crying and breaking down and emotional because they have been weakened. And they have been weakened for another gender so they can be taken control over. Okay? Verse 20. A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall it be filled. So it's just saying the same thing. Hey, you got those who can sell ice to an Eskimo, right? Remember, now, you got those who can sell ice to an Eskimo in a good way, and those who can sell ice to an Eskimo in a bad way. So it depends on how you using your words, right? Because a man's belly is satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, right? So those words either gonna bring you fruit or gonna bring you dung, okay? Remember, because life and death is in the power of our tongue, right? So them words gonna either get us fruit, get us a career, make us successful, or they're gonna keep us down and make us perish and be destructive to our own life. All right, verse 21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they love it shall eat the fruit thereof. I just said that. Remember, death and life is in the power of the tongue, right? So, hey, what we say determines if we're going to live or die, right? So we have to be careful on how we use our words. You can't just go around saying things to people and thinking you're going to offend them. Who made you, who died and made you king or queen, right? Just because you were fed with a silver spoon and you got all these riches and money don't make you privileged and make you better than the next person, because you human like we human, we all bleed, right? So even though you got money, now you can go over there and just say what you want to say to this poor person. You don't know if this poor person is edge or not. Now you can say the wrong thing for the last time because all your comment caught up of what you did to other people. Now it's your time to go, right? So be careful how we use our words. Life and death is in the power of our tongue, right? All right. Verse 22. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtain a favor of the Lord. Okay. And that is true. And in fact, you guys, I sent the video out yesterday. I was watching YouTube, and they set an example, whoso find a wife finding a good thing. They had their family, Judah, of course. They had the family of Judah. I'm talking about 100% Judah. Now, of course, we all mixed up right now, but we know we come to the right, so we know we Judah. So these people that I shared that video, they was Judah. You had the father Judah, the mother Judah, and the children Judah, right? And the father was given the white Judah love, right? Because he was a leader, he's a provider, he's a protector, and obviously he's been led by the father, right? He is a head, right? So because he is the head and he's being led by the father, then his wife follows him. She follows the lead, right? But it's up to the man to keep that house happy, okay? So that was the prime example. Go watch that video I shared. It's a short, okay? A man that findeth whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Okay, I just gave you guys a true video of Judah in action, right? Performing the life of a strong family, of a husband of Judah, and the wife of a Judah, and the kids of the Judah. That man found a good thing, and she knew her place. She knew her role, he knew his role, right? So go ahead and watch that video so you can learn how to become effective Judah. All right. Verse 23. The poor uses entreaties, but the rich answer it roughly. Because it's just saying the poor basically be like, they be begging, look, they don't mind helping. They just want a piece of something to put in their mouth or something to help them. So they're willing, to get on their knees and scrub and beg you just for a little bit. They're willing to bow down to you, kiss the feet that your ground walk on, because they poor, they don't have a choice, right? To get what they want so they can feed themselves and their family. On the other hand, the person they asking, the rich, answer them roughly, treat them with vigor, make them feel less than a woman or a man because they've been fed with a silver spoon and they don't know no better. They don't even feel what this person feeling because they have not been in that predicament, right? So that's the difference. A poor gonna beg, and don't mind and gonna let that pride and that boastfulness go. But the rich is gonna use pride and boastfulness to keep that person low, so he can keep his power up and treat that person roughly with vigor. All right, and verse 24, the final verse. A man that had friends must shew himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. Yeah. So make a friend, right? You got a friend. Remember, it's a blessing to have at least one friend. You can't get, I don't know if there's such thing as two friends now, because it's written. The Bible is written that said you are blessed if you have one friend. Okay, so those who out there tonight, they have 5 or 6, 2 or 3 friends. No, baby, you lean on your own understanding. It's not the truth, because it is written that a blessed person is blessed if they at least have one friend, right? And if they do got one friend, then they got to show that person friendly. They got to be a friend to them, right? Because that one friend can stick it close to your brother in your family, right? Because family ain't really your friends no more, right? That's already written too. Mother against father, father against daughter, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law, sister against brother. It's written. Trust and believe. I'm a prime example. I didn't appreciate me had to argue with my dad and my sister, but it's written. And no matter how I try to get past it and overlook it, happened because it's written. And I try to avoid all things and all of that. And that's why my voice is a little bit hoarse right now. Because of me, they be arguing with my sister and daddy because of the things they said to me, because people change. They don't care what they said to you. They can hit you hard. Some of the things that you wouldn't expect for your own family to say, they said it. Because some of the things that were said to me would never come out of my mouth. I would never make my family feel below the way they made me feel. I would not do that, because that's my family. But these days, people change. Nobody thinking the things they can say, can hurt you, right? But I just look at it as, okay, I'm just being an example. I'm just being led, because the things I'm experiencing, don't get me wrong, I read that scripture and I try my best to overlook, get into it with the mama, the dad, the sister, the brother. But it's out of your hands, because it's already written, and I had to repent and cry and say, Father, forgive me for calling out their names and all that kind of stuff, because I was provoked. And no matter how overlooked, people change, it's written, so what's going to happen, right? So I'm just here to tell you, right? Don't overlook these words, because what's happening is already written. We can't get over it, right? But we can learn how to react from it, And because I was provoked and I said some things out of my anger, I had to cry and I had to apologize. And I'm glad they forgave me and said my apology. But I only said those things because they hurted me. They provoked me from what they said and made me react, okay? All right, you guys. So remember, a man that had friends must show himself friendly. And there's a friend that's sticking close to a brother. So remember, you got friends that's sticking closer than blood, okay? But if you do have a friend, because you are blessed to have at least one friend, okay? I don't know if there's such thing as 2, 3, 4, and 5, but the Bible says one. So if you do got that one friend, then you got to show yourself friendly, right? And that friend can be closer than you than blood. All right, you guys. I hope you guys got a little bit of understanding, from me reading this Bible. Remember, the basic instructions before leaving Earth, or biblical instructions before leaving Earth. I get charged to try, to break down these scriptures so you guys can understand. And I really hope that I'm helping some of you guys, that some of you guys are understanding, because my job is to save at least one sheep. Not 99, but one. And those others will follow, right? Because what the Father said, hey, if they hated me, they'll hate you. If they listen to me, then they'll listen to you. All right? All right, you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Have a wonderful Spoken Word Tuesday. I love y'all. Bye now. Peace.